Once a forest assessment has been complete for a block, you can access the data by visiting the block view. You can do this by clicking on the polygon, which will navigate you to the block view. As you can see, the aerial imagery captured with the drone is the first layer that defaults to on. This allows you to inspect the block post-harvest at a high resolution. All the forest assessment data can be accessed in the menu, top left of the screen. In the images category, there are two layers, the orthomosaic and the elevation model. These are both captured from the drone. The sliders below the toggles allow you to change the transparency of the layer so that you can see what's underneath. You can do this for the digital elevation model as well. Feature layers give you a different perspective of the block, a panoramic perspective. Feature layers can be accessed through the feature layer group in the menu. There are three different types: general panoramas, skid site ground panoramas, and skid site aerial panoramas. General panoramas help give the user a perspective of the block and give context to the operations that have occurred on it. Skid site ground panoramas give you a perspective of what's happening on the skid site from ground level. Let's take a look at this one, for example. Clicking on the panorama allows you to interact with it and zoom in and see particular details from a ground view. The aerial panoramas give you a perspective of the same area, however, from the perspective of a drone. This, coupled with the orthomosaic, can be a very powerful tool for helping give the user a perspective of what's actually happening on that skid site. During a forest assessment, areas of concern and areas of failure are picked out. Areas of concern highlight locations where there is cause for concern. If left unmanaged, this could lead to failure. There is usually a description of what the concern is and a contextual image to help understand it. Areas of failure have also been highlighted. This helps users understand where failures have already happened on a block. Throughout the forest assessment, the purpose is not only to pick out the areas of concern and failure, but also to point out areas of good practice. The AOE, or Areas of Excellence layer, highlights areas where good practice have been carried out by contractors. Clicking on the marker will give you a description of what good practice has been carried out and an image to help illustrate this. Features, as they were displayed in the resource consent or notification submission attachments, can be seen here in the menu on the left. Labeled consented for works that either existed or were planned, and as built for works that actually were carried out on the block. We can see that there are consented roads that were planned in the harvest plan, and as-built roads. Using the transparency slider, you can change the transparency to compare the two layers. The same can be done for consented tracks and as-built tracks. The same can be applied to skid sites that were consented or notified, and as-built skid sites. These usually sit very close together. Clicking on the as-built skid site will give you an assessment against the council's criteria. If you want to change the base map, you can do this through the Basemaps group. This gives you a wide variety of options to choose from. If you want to view the 3D model for the block, which only exists for blocks that have been assessed, click the 3D view in the top right hand corner. This will take you to the 3D model of the block. You can interact with this by left clicking and dragging around the map. Right clicking gives you the option to shift the map or pan it, and zooming allows you obviously to zoom in and zoom out. Markers showing where rivers have been forded can be found in the stream crossings layer. Clicking these markers will give you a picture of the inlet and the outlet photo. Water controls that have been applied on the block can be seen by toggling the water controls layer. With the transparency slider, you can slide them back on and off to compare them with the ortho mosaic.